Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for taking time and coming on, Grue, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks
Thanks.
for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Definitely, yes. So I guess the first question I want to start out asking you is this show is based off a book, a comic book, and what inspired you both about the comic book to make a show?
We immediately loved when it was presented to us by Nickelodeon. We loved the style. The drawing style was perfect for animation, and it was funny. And we really liked Jamie's tone. It was kind of a perfect fit.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And it is my phone almost fell over.
Oh,
Here we go. It is a two D show, and for anyone who don't know a lot about it, like me, what's like the how do you create that? Like, how do you draw it, and how does everything go into creating a show that's drawn in 2D?
well, it's interesting because it's more than just drawing now. It's drawing and puppeting the computer animation in a way, using software to move pieces around. And I don't really understand it myself, but it's almost like 3D now. You have to create the model of the character and all the different arms and the different poses, and they're basically invisible until you turn them on. I'm getting that right, aren't
Yes. And I
I?
think 3D has different other sort of production steps like lighting and rendering, and but
Hmm.
the rigging is similar. You basically create an invisible skeleton in each of the characters, and they move a certain way. But I think translating from a book, right, to a TV show, you're telling, in this case, we told 52 different stories. And so you need to make sure that you build out the world enough that you can tell those stories. So that's the sort of the conceptually, that's what we look for. We look for, do they have a home base? Do they have bedrooms? Like, what do we want to talk about? Are they just battling bad guys, or are they chilling out and eating pizza in a living room as well? Do they have a vehicle? Do they, what powers do each have? Do we need to balance the powers out a little more? So there's all these, we sort of design a town, right? We have
Hmm.
where the headquarters is, and then we made sure we need enough travel distance between us and the major part of the city. So we have a town hall or a city hall, we have a museum, and then as the stories get made, we kind of build out the universe. And we still have to keep in mind where we had placed the things before, so it kind of makes visual sense. Does that make that's the best I
Yeah,
can.
no, no, I definitely get it. Yeah. Thanks for telling me that. I was wondering how that works.
There is some drawing involved, a lot of drawing when you do specialized motion, things that you can't reuse, or not just walking and talking,
Yeah.
but it's a combination of drawing digitally and then putting it together and making it move.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. And we've seen every kind of super superhero. They make all kind of animals now into superheroes. So are you finally glad to see bunnies now as
It's such a
battling
relief.
people?
It's been my life
Yeah,
stream to
he's
see
been
bunnies.
wanting bunnies for quite
Yeah, I've been
some time.
talking about how
Yeah,
long, 20
I'm
years?
really quite sick of it.
Um, I, the truth is the bunny thing, they're not hopping around. They drive around in a carrot car, and that is basically they're humans, they're us,
Yeah.
right? And they started out as bunnies, and they turned into these superheroes. So I don't know if we would have made them bunnies. Jamie happened to think that was really funny. It's funny to take something so innocent and
Yeah.
put all of this humor humor in it. But it's really about identifying, human traits that we
Hmm.
relate to.
Yeah. It's
And yeah,
sort of the Batman thing, it's like I guess he has bat attributes, but it's really just likes to brand his world with bats.
Yeah.
And so we've got a lot of carrots here and there, but the bunnies don't necessarily go for carrot drinks or eating carrots. It's just we wanted to make a joke about that none of them particularly like them, but there's just no time in an 11-minute cartoon to get that deep.
True, true. And how did you find like this amazing cast, and how do you know like the voices that you want to hear come out of all these characters?
Well, we really wanted them to sound like real people. And one of the things we look for is rather than somebody who does a cartoony voice, we wanted one of the things that we tend to respond to are people who kind of can't do any other voice except their own.
Yeah.
With Bubble Guppies, we had Ozzy Osbourne and Cyndi Lauper. Those are people who really cannot pretend to be anybody else. And so
True.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what we look for, because then you're responding naturally, and that kind of comes through. So every single one of these cast members, they kind of fit into the slot
Yeah, we
when
had
we
an
heard them.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drive casting crazy because we have an idea and we'll know it when we hear it, but I can't tell you exactly what it's got to be. And then as soon as you start to cast, you got to find people who balance out the character you just cast, and that might make some changes with what you're looking for in the next character. But we got incredibly lucky with this cast. Everybody's perfect and made the show much more than the sum of its parts.
You hope for kind of the Beatles when you're doing it, right? You hope that like
Definitely.
the tone of John is different than the tone of Ringo to George to Paul. Like but the sum of the parts kind of makes the
Do
team.
you need to clear up who the Beatles are?
But they each are so distinct in their own right. So they need to carry a scene when they're alone, right? Or
Yeah.
with another
Mhm.
character, but they feel really, really, really distinct.
Yeah.
And so Amy Zeiss, who was our casting director, was fantastic and really patient and still sort of likes us after the experience, which we appreciate always.
Yeah.
She was really great and patient and allowed us to see everybody we needed to see
And
until we got the right folks.
brought all of these people to us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God, I love it. And I know we're coming up on the time, so the last thing I'll ask you both basically is where could fans watch the series and also follow you both at?
Well, the series is on Saturday mornings at 9:30,
Mhm.
and we have a presence on YouTube and where else are we? We're kind of all over the place. They're a soft launch for the show. I can't be found.
But most of our work is on Nickelodeon, Nick Jr., Bubble Guppies, Backyardigans, Butterbeans Cafe. We've been doing it for a long time, and so we're really pleased to deliver Super Duper Bunny League.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for coming on and doing this. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
having us. Take it easy. Nice talking.
Bye.
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 Thanks,
Nice
Rocco.
talking to you. Thank you.